You know that quiet thought that sometimes visits us? Maybe it's late at night or just in a random moment of reflection. It's this idea that the future version of you, of me, might look back on today with one single, really powerful wish. And today, that's exactly what we're going to dive into. And really, that powerful thought just boils down to this one simple question, a question we all need to ask ourselves. What are you waiting for? We all know this feeling, right? It's that endless search for everything to be just right, for all the stars to align before we finally make our move. Before we start that thing, we know deep down we need to start. Yeah, we tell ourselves all kinds of stories. I'll start when I feel more confident, or I just need a little more money in the bank. We wait for some kind of sign, a green light from the universe, this mythical right moment to finally show up. But honestly, does it ever? Well, here's the truth of it. The perfect moment hardly ever announces itself with a big drum roll and a spotlight. It's usually a quiet thing. And waiting for it to shout is, a lot of the time, just a really clever way of making sure we never have to begin at all. And this whole waiting game is, well, it's sneaky. It doesn't just look like laziness. Oh no, it has this way of dressing itself up, of disguising itself as something really noble, something that sounds super productive. We use words to make ourselves feel better about doing nothing. We call it preparation, when, if we're being honest, it's just delay. We say we're planning, but really we're just postponing. We convince ourselves it's patience, but what's really happening is it's slowly turning into paralysis. So it's a good time to ask ourselves a really honest question. Are these respectable sounding labels actually helping us get anywhere? Or are they just comfortable, socially acceptable excuses for staying right where we are? Because while we're so busy preparing and planning and waiting, something else is happening, kind of quietly in the background. There is a real cost to all this delay, and it's a cost we don't always see until it's way down the road. And this cost, it shows up in the little things. It's in the unopened notebooks sitting on our shelves, just pages and pages of blank potential that never got a chance to come to life. It's in the unfinished ideas, those brilliant thoughts you have in the shower, the drafts saved on your computer that are forever stuck at just 20% complete. And of course, it's in the postponed dreams, the big ones, the ones we promised ourselves we'd get to one day. But with every single day we wait, that one day just seems to get pushed further and further away, doesn't it? There's a really powerful term for this whole feeling. It's called delayed obedience. It's that internal friction, that quiet little ache you get from knowing exactly what the right path is, but choosing to stand still anyway. This isn't about not knowing what to do. It's about not doing what you already know. But here's the good news. That feeling, that ache of delayed obedience, it absolutely does not have to be the end of the story. There is a turning point. And you don't find it in perfect conditions. You find it in one single, simple choice. This right here, this is the key to everything. To begin when you're not ready, to start without having all the answers, to just move forward, messily. That is a profound act of courage. It's an act of faith in your own ability to figure things out as you go. And let's be totally clear about this. Starting is scary. It is 100% okay to feel the fear, to feel exhausted, to feel completely and totally uncertain about what you're doing. Those feelings are real, they're valid.
But they are not stop signs, they're just part of the ride. When it comes down to it, the only thing that actually quiets that voice of doubt and dissolves all the excuses we build is action. One single, small, imperfect step forward is infinitely more powerful than the most perfectly detailed plan for standing still.
So look, this isn't about making one giant heroic leap. It's about something way more sustainable and, honestly, way more powerful. It's all about small beginnings. It's about making it so easy to start that you can't say no.
And this really shows you the difference, right? We often wait for motivation to strike us like lightning, but motivation, it's fleeting. It comes, it goes. Consistency, on the other hand, that is the engine that actually builds momentum. It's the small deposits you make day in and day out that compound into something truly remarkable. And the process is so simple. Don't worry about the whole staircase. Just pick one tiny little thing you can do. Then just do it today. And after that, your only job is to focus on doing it again tomorrow. It's amazing how our brains work. Once we start something, we actually crave finishing it. That first tiny step creates this little mental pull that just tugs you toward the next one. And this brings us right to the final and most crucial point. We have a habit of thinking of our future as this distant thing, something that's going to be shaped by big decisions we make later on. But the real truth is, your future story is being written by the choices you make right now, today. Just let that sink in for a second. The regret that you are so desperately trying to avoid in the future, it's actually being created by the inaction you're choosing in this very moment. The power to change that whole story lies entirely right here, right now. So I'll leave you with this one question. Not what will you start one day, or when you finally feel ready, or when the time is perfect. But what is one small, imperfect, courageous step that you are going to take today? You know, that first step can be as small as just sharing this idea with someone who you think needs to hear it. If any of this resonated with you, we'd really appreciate your support. Thanks so much for being here.